And good morning. Some stuff, interesting stuff going on. But let me get my stuff all set up first. I'm trying to scour everywhere to find out if any information is available about the execution of someone that was supposed to occur earlier today in Iran. There are no confirmed reports that that occurred. Even though there is people posting on social media that it did, it's not confirmed. That's first of all. People need to be careful because you're just being part of that whole propaganda arm. You got to be careful. And I keep saying that. It's just, don't fall into that trap. All right, let me get my stuff set here. There's some other interesting little things I've noticed. Not much information coming out of Iran. Not much at all. And I've been looking. And for some reason, why is my stream not going to YouTube? I have to restart the stream. This is interesting, to say the least. Maybe it's glitching. The other one is working. One of them is working. But one of them isn't. Okay, Rumble is working. And good morning to everyone. There is an interesting tanker doing interesting activities near the UK. And I'll get to that in a second, but I gotta see what's going on here. It's not working on one of the channels. All right. I guess we'll leave that one alone right now. Let me get Rumble set up. Okay. Let's see what I put for this. I'll just put that. Okay, that should be good. Save. That's not the one. It's a little chilly this morning too. All right. So Rumble is working. I think one of the YouTubes is not working, but that's fine. I'm not going to start restarting streams and going through all that. All right, I'm not going on TikTok yet. because there's some stuff to discuss and I can't really do it on TikTok. Anyway, I have not seen any information about the execution that was supposed to occur. There are people posting on social media that it has happened, but that has not been confirmed. That's first of all. And I am not going there. But here's a little interesting activity going on with a strata tanker near the UK. And this definitely looks like it's doing some refueling for something. That, when it does those circles, I mean, I can't emphasize that enough. This strata tanker's been flying around. And you could see it's a strata tanker. And it's just going in circles. Usually when they do these patterns, it's a refueling process in the air. And it's in the UK. So did anything come over? And I'm not saying it's bombers. I'm not even saying it did happen with coming across the Atlantic and they're being refueled here before their final destination somewhere near the Middle East. Don't know. But that is peculiar to see that pattern of that tanker doing that. It's just going in circles. That could be a sign that it's doing some refueling in the air. What's up, Crafter? They didn't televise it or announce it? Okay, so see, I have not seen any real true confirmation. I've seen things on social media say it did happen. But until it's confirmed, then we'll know. And how that confirmation happens is a whole different story. But for right now, it is unconfirmed. We cannot say with certainty that happened. And I'm hearing some crazy, crazy numbers. They say the numbers that we're hearing are actually way too low about the amount of people that have been killed. They're disappearing the bodies. They're hiding the bodies. The regime is actually hiding the fucking bodies. They say the number's much worse. Now, again, you got to take that with a grain of salt. Is it true or not? I think the president has become aware that the numbers are high. I think the president now sees that. Because obviously the president wants the same thing. He wants confirmation. He wants true data. He doesn't want to see X or anything like that. He wants, give me the numbers. I want numbers. I want some credible, accurate numbers, if you can give those to me. Can anyone in this room do that for me? That's what he should demand, and I'm sure he is. Because that's what I would demand. I don't want to hear speculation. I want to know what's really going on. But this is peculiar for this strata tanker near the UK to be doing this circular pattern, because that could, I'm not saying it is, that could be an indicator that they're refueling something that came over the Atlantic. Also, I don't know if it was early this morning, but this was interesting because it was targeted in the past. Hold on. Netanyahu's jet makes familiar flight as Trump plans Iran strike. So the Wing of Zion state plane took off and went to Crete. This is confirmed on flight radar, by the way. This is confirmed. And that's why I'm talking about it, because it is confirmed. The jet, which is used to transport Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu around the world, has left Israel ahead of previous attacks on Iran. But then it returned. It returned back to Israel. Oh, see, it says here, the plane flew to Crete on Wednesday before returning to Israel. And they're saying, oh, this was nothing. Part of regular training. Okay, we'll buy that. But yeah, see, right there, who's on flight radar. But that could be an old picture right here. Ahead of Iran's April 13th strike on Israel, it departed. So a lot of this is speculation because it did return. But here's a piece of news that I want to hear that I found, and it's been confirmed. The AP, Reuters, and Wall Street Journal is now reporting this. And I actually want to hear the clip myself. So let me lower my mic. This Reuters thing here. Let's see if it plays. Maybe not. It's just a GIF. But we can go to Reuters. The U.S. is withdrawing. The U.S. is withdrawing personnel from Middle East bases as a precaution, given heightened regional tensions, a U.S. official told Reuters. Now, this is not just appearing on Reuters. It's on AP and on the Wall Street Journal. So it looks like they're getting personnel out of those bases. And here's the... And this was how long? 35 minutes ago. Oh, here we go. We can't read it. But yeah. See? Exclusive. U.S. withdrawing some troops from key Middle East bases as precaution. I mean, what does that tell you? That something is imminent, and then I see this flying around in circles. The Stratotanker. It looks like it's refueling something. I cannot be sure of that, but when it does that, that could be an indicator that it is a refueling aircraft. What kind of aircraft? I don't know. Again, I am speculating. But that is, you'll see this over the United States when they're refueling. Like in Arkansas, the Dakotas, in certain areas of the states, you will see this. And it's usually an indicator that they're refueling. And it's going to be dark soon. You can see it now coming. Let's go down. So darkness is about to happen here in Iran. I do not see the MQ-4C Triton drone anymore, even though that made the news that people were posting on social media, on X, showing it. And we seen that last night. But I don't see it anymore. It probably landed, or who knows where it is. Transponder could be off. So right now, I'm not seeing much activity as far as what we can see on flight radar. Doesn't mean it's not there, it's just not showing. And there's still a lot of air traffic. Civilian. Lots. Still a lot of air traffic. But it's early. Will this be the night? I don't know. No, I'm looking at you, Crafter. I'm only streaming. I'm not on TikTok. I see exactly what you're saying. I'm actually addressing you. You're the only one that's commenting. And Fringe, good morning. Now, see, Fringe is on Rumble, and I didn't look at Rumble at all yesterday. And she's saying, are you seeing this? Are you reading this? Yes, I have the pop-ups out this morning. So yes, Crafter, I am seeing the chat and Rumble's chat. I am not live on TikTok. It's only the YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble right now. And I apologize for not getting to the comments. How much is the... All right, so this is what someone's posting, a friend in Canada. Yeah, I saw that about the human rights group saying that there's 2,500. Yeah, that's 2,571 deaths as of January 14, 2026. I think that's a very low number. Personally, I think that's a very low number. Sadly. Now, here's the problem. if we leave some kind of a void and the people don't go out as much as they have been, the regime may get the upper hand here. Time is of the essence. The momentum could be shifting. What time is it where? In Iran? If it's... I'll just ask because I don't want to do 8.5 hours ahead of me. Alexa, what time is it in Iran?
It's 6:06 p.m. in Iran.
6:06 p.m. in Iran. You could see the darkness is coming on flight radar. Over here in upstate New York, it's 9:36 a.m. But it's about to be nighttime there. Yes, so it's early morning here. It's 9:36 where I am. I'm about 100 miles north of New York City, where I live, Hudson Valley, New York. I am not seeing, it's like everybody's quiet now. Nobody's posting anything. I looked at a lot of accounts by politicians, Reza Pahlavi. No one is saying anything. They're quiet. Is that intentional? But that's interesting how they're pulling key personnel from the military bases in the Middle East, the United States. Reuters is reporting it. AP is reporting it. Now the Wall Street Journal is reporting it. Because they don't want to put... I said this yesterday. Do we want to put our personnel at risk? Well, now you know what they're doing. What is this? Oh, no, this is coming from Israel. This has to do with something else. I am keeping an eye on all this, too. All right, hold on. Hold on. I got to read this. Because this is coming from Telegram now. I agree with you, Deep Story. And again, I'm just going to say it on my behalf, and I didn't light the candle. I had the candle, and I was going to light it for the people of Iran. Prayers for the people of Iran. I hear you, Fringe. I understand. I got you. So this is a Telegram account. This is coming from one of their main reporters out of Israel. This was at 9:20 this morning, so this is 17 minutes ago. Reuters reports forces at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar have been instructed to leave the base by this evening. Oh, shit might go down. Now, this evening is their time, which is evening now. Forces at why would they say that? Why would the U.S. forces leave Qatar? This is what Reuters is reporting. Forces at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, the U.S. base that was attacked during Operation with the Might of the Lion, have been instructed to leave the base by this evening. Iron Dome batteries on the way to Jerusalem. This is coming from a reporter in Israel. And he's been reliable in the past. All right, then let me see what else they're saying. Okay, that's nothing. That's old. That's an old video that they're posting. Again, this is coming from ILTV Israel News. Again, this is coming from... And they have an audio associated with it. Iranians are now able to communicate, who are now able to communicate again, are describing the scale of the massacre carried out by the Islamic Republic as reports of killings and mass arrests continue to emerge despite the regime's blackout. Let's see. You can't even imagine, not even in your imaginations, what is happening in Iran. Thousands and thousands have been killed. Friends and loved ones, everyone has been killed in Iran. Just be our voice. The world needs to hear this. If nothing happens in the next few days, they will all be massacred. All of Iran is being massacred. By God, I do not want to exaggerate, but the situation is truly horrific and gruesome. Only and only the outside can help. We can't do anything here with our empty hands. The outside needs to help. A horrific massacre has taken place. We saw it with our own eyes. On the streets and at their front doors. They killed people right outside their front doors. A girl, 17, 18, 16 years old. She was killed at her front door. I don't know what to say. Because if my phone is tapped today, it could cause problems for some. They are collecting the satellites. We went back 100 years ago. They are collecting satellites. The internet is shut down. The situation is horrific and indescribable. If you can share my voice, please share it everywhere. In the media and on the internet. There are war crimes and crimes against humanity happening in Iran. These figures, 12,000 to 10,000, that are being circulated are laughable compared to what we have seen. It is impossible to say what crimes are committed in Iran. I love you all. That was a message on Telegram. So I think it's a lot worse. Because you got to remember, whenever you get this sourcing information, how are they getting these numbers? How? You know it's a lot higher than these numbers, figures that you're seeing. You know it. This is horrific. And that's why I said we got to act soon. If we're going to act, it has to be soon, because there will be a momentum shift in the worst way. And thousands of people will either be killed or arrested and executed. If we don't fucking step in soon, the regime is going to massacre so many people. This is becoming really critical for the people of Iran. I can't say much more than that. And again, you could say, well, how do we know what he's saying is true? And I get that. I get that. But I would say the probability is high. Because if the numbers coming in is, if the Human Rights Organization is saying there's over 2,500, and that's what they can account for, how do they get those numbers? Don't ask me. It's probably a lot higher than that. And now the judiciary in Iran said they're going to start doing mass executions. And this is to intimidate the people, to scare them. So if we allow this kind of a momentum shift, it can quell everything. The people, they're getting slaughtered. They expected the United States to help. Please, President Trump, help. Where is the help? No, Mom! Oh, Jesus. Not right now, I'm live. There's not much time for these people. We don't have much time. Something's got to give really soon. And I don't know how much more what I can say about that. And I don't know what all of you, yes, I just read that deep story about, I'll read it again. First of all, they're evacuating personnel from military bases in the Middle East. So that tells me they're expecting some kind of an incoming retaliation. That means it looks like we're going to strike. Why would they do that? And what? Because they think the proxies are going to hit it? I'm sure they think that too, but they think that Iran is going to strike our bases like they threatened. But based on what you just said, Deep Story, I did read that a few minutes ago. And it's coming out of Reuters, AP, and the Wall Street Journal now. I gotta find the article now. And early this morning, commander of the IRGC Air Force, Iran is on high alert to respond to any attack. But it said that. I saw a post, but now I got to go back and find out where the heck I seen it. Because I saw it on Telegram. Oh, here it is. Diplomatic sources told Reuters that some staff members at the U.S. base in Qatar were instructed to leave. The clearest indication so far are preparations for an imminent attack. And that's at Qatar. And then there's a video, allegedly, and I may play it, because I don't like to play videos that we just don't know. We just don't know. But there was someone who fled from Iran to Turkey. Yes, the Iraq bases, yes, Sam. Yes. If they're doing all this preparation, and I said this yesterday, they need to protect our forces. They may not have the logistical assets in place to protect those bases from a barrage of missiles, which would be horrific. And, you know, it's just common sense. So they're doing everything they can to protect the servicemen and women of the United States Armed Forces. Makes total sense. But I'm going to see if I could find this video. I'm going to blacken out my screen for now. I'll put my full... I'm going to play it because it is making traction all over the place. And let's see what he says. I'm going to tell you, it is emotional to see some of the stuff that's coming out. It is horrific. Let me see. I'm going to look it up. Yeah, the Associated Press is saying the head of, and I just mentioned this, the head of Iran's judiciary signaled that there would be fast trials and executions for those detained in nationwide protests, despite a warning from U.S. President Donald Trump. You know how many people they've arrested? What are they going to do? Kill thousands of people? Mass execution style? This is beyond. So I think something's got to happen soon. If we're going to do anything, it's got to happen soon. If we're going to do anything. Because I'm actually starting to have my doubts. But that could be on purpose, because obviously he's not going to tip his hand. And it's to keep everyone guessing, including the adversary. You know what I mean? PBS reported one day. Yeah, it's higher than 2,000 people. If I was putting money on this, it's probably over 10,000. And I'm still being conservative when I say 10,000. Let me see if I find this video that's been posted like all over the place. It's a young man who left Iran, this guy right here. It's 2 minutes, and it's, you know, it'll have the English translation. Oh my God. She's talking to me and I'm live. This is what happens, folks. This is live. Anyway, let's play this. Right now I'm a little busy, Mom. I'm going to lower my mic.
الان رسیدم ترکیه بازا بدبختی اصلا حال رویم خوب نیست همه رو دارن میکشن بچه‌ها رو همه رو دارن میکشن فقط کمک خارجی رسید همه شاهزاده رو صدا میزنن، خارشون رو بگوید هر کی غیر از این صدا میزنه. شاهزاده نیستش که، شاهزاده سمبل آزادیه، اصلا کاری به اسم شاهزاده نداره. مردم دوباره ناجی هن، مردم رو میکشن، بیرحمانه دارن چراغا رو خاموش کردن، هر کاری دلشون میخواد دارن میکنن. من پروازم کنسل شده بود از پروازهای خارجی تهران به خارج از ایران، خارجی همه کنسل شده. و بدبختی یه پرواز ایرانی پیدا کردم، حالا روی مثلا خوب نیست. فقط کمک خارجی. من تا الان تا ایران نباشید نمیفهمید وضعیت چطوری. ترامپه مرامپه هر کی هست، فقط کمک خارجی. چشم امید بچه ها همه به شما هست، این خارج از ایرانه. من یه قطرم توی اقیانوس، فقط میتونم حس آنمو بهتون بگم. جهنم رو دیدم تو ایران، این چند روز جهنم رو دیدم. گناه داریم، خیلی گناه داریم، خیلی گناه داریم. حقمون نیست. فقط کمک خارجی. چجوری میشه ما کمک بگیریم؟ نمیدونم. نمیدونم چطوری میتونیم وقتی کمک بگیریم. کوه دارن غرقم میکنن تو سر سینه، شلیک مستقیم، بیرحمانه دارن میکشن همه رو.
Oh my God, that I'm getting fucking emotional watching that. Ma, please don't interfere right now for anything, please. Oh my gosh. I just was I was in tears watching that. That's genuine. You can see that is genuine. And he looks like, I'm just basing this, I'm not stereotyping this. He looks like a person that at least has a background of having funds to get the hell out. Can you imagine what these people in Iran are going through right now? That's why, when they cut the internet, they don't want the world to see what they're doing, obviously. They don't want the word to come out of Iran by the people what the fuck is going on the ground. I'm sorry for my language. But we need to do something. The president needs to do something. I mean, really. And I know it's easy to say, but it is getting above and beyond horrific. I mean, there's not even a word I could find. You know what I mean? But again, we have to be prepared to do it right if we're going to do it. Oh, here we go. I'm going to read your comments. Looks like we here in Canada can't get the real numbers. How can anybody get the real numbers? We don't have people on the ground to tell us what the hell is going on. I'm reading what you guys are writing. I hope she doesn't stay in this room because I told her not to do this while I'm streaming live. If Iran regime came to realize its end for them, I think they would do anything to harm military bases or neighborhoods country because nothing to lose. Absolutely. It's an act of desperation. But they're trying to suppress the revolution through intimidation, through violence. They're trying to suppress it. And if that flips, and I have not seen any indication because I'm not really seeing much coming out of Iran anymore. If that momentum swings, that's going to be really bad for the Iranian people. Yes, Iran and North Korea are not that different. If they do, it'll be with aircraft disguised as civilian planes and plainclothes soldiers. So, I know somebody made a great point last night about the markets. We also know that they're trying to get personnel, different countries, including us, are trying to get our people out of there. But it's literally every hour that passes by, minute, day, the conditions just get so far much worse for the people of Iran. That's the bottom line. As that clock ticks, and at night now, I can't imagine. I just cannot imagine. Exactly. No one knows the exact deep story. You're absolutely correct. That's what I was saying. How do we know? Now, even a video like that, how do we know? He definitely looks emotionally moved. He's crying. You know, it looks genuine. But even though, how do we know? I hate to say that, but, you know, if you're going to take something and put a label on it and say this is a credible source, how can you do that without evidence to back that up? Which we have no numbers. We have nothing. We don't know. I was, like I said, emotional watching that. But at the same time, you have to have data, evidence to back that up. And that's just the sad state of reality. It's the truth. You know, it is what it is. And it's so sad. Because we can all speculate. Is what he's saying true? I believe in my heart that what he's saying is true. And I'm feeling it. I was almost crying when I was watching that. Watching his expressions, because body language is important. But unless we have real data, information coming, credible sourcing coming from the ground, how do we know? And a lot of people are going to say, oh, the numbers ain't that high. Oh my God, the numbers are above that. Like I think the numbers are higher than the 2,500 they're saying. Because remember, Iran is a huge country. It's not a small country. And this has been going on throughout the country. How many people live in Iran? 90 million? No, what is it? Alexa, how many people live in Iran?
I'm not sure what you mean by run people. Could you clarify what
Alexa,
you're asking
stop.
about?
Alexa, now I'm saying it wrong. Alexa, how many people live in Iran?
Iran's population is 93.2 million people.
Over 90 million people. So if this was going on across the country, you think the number is going to be like 2,000? And it was happening in so many towns, provinces, cities, etc.? Maybe. I don't think it's higher. It's a big country, and it was widespread. Now, I don't know if it's still going on the way it was a few days ago. During those 4 nights, I don't know if it's going on like that anymore. I haven't seen many messages coming from Pahlavi to the people to go out there in mass numbers. Maybe he's starting to not do that anymore because he's realizing what's going on in Iran, and he's telling people to go out there, and the people are getting massacred. All of what I'm saying is obviously speculation, but it makes you wonder. Okay, let me see. I can tell you how we can confirm that there is multiple outside of Iran news
The
stations.
Yankees just
Alexa,
traded
stop!
Maryland's-
I can tell you how we can confirm there is multiple outside of Iran news stations, like Iran. I've been watching Iran International. Manitoba, I can't remember. That's how and a lot of people can't protest because they have government jobs, so they call outside. That makes sense. Double morals at its best. And they tell them exactly what happened, and Obviously, says been going on for so many years.
It's 41 degrees.
Alexa,
right
stop!
now.
Yeah, I've been pushing 2C and Goldie. I've been pushing that. I even actually sent 2C a private message a couple of days ago trying to help him with his flight radar. And I think, I'm not saying I did, but I think he figured it out now. And I'll tell you what I'll tell you what I wrote 2C. I'm just trying to help. Let me see what I wrote 2C. Here, right here. Oh my God, I'm getting pop-ups from... I said, hello, Mayar. I was the individual in chat telling you about the flight radar, which I was, 24, when that Iranian airspace incursion happened, but it didn't. It wasn't. But he was going crazy because I had put it, and everybody's going crazy about this thing I captured, the Stratotanker going in, but false alarm on that. But we all seen it. It was on. It was showing, regardless. So I said, to use it correctly, go to filters on the bottom. When screen comes up on right, make sure to go to categories and make sure all aircraft are checked. Also in setting, click on the map, scroll to bottom, and you will see aircraft labels, because I want him to see the labels. Make sure it is highlighted to logo so you can see the logo of the plane. This will identify aircraft. If you click the upper right corner, 3 parallel lines, you can also click drop down arrow in aviation data, look for GPS jamming map. To go back to main screen, simply click Flight Radar 24 logo top center. Hope this helps. Blessings to you and family. And then I told him who I was in his chat. So I sent Tusi that message. Mayar, I'm mispronouncing his name. Mayar? Mayar? But I did. I messaged him. And then the next day, it looked like he got the hang of it, but he could have done tutorials off of YouTube. You know what I mean? He could have learned how to use it himself. I'm not saying. I just wish he had a moderator in chat. I know he doesn't like that because he wants everybody to have freedom of speech, which I get. I do that here. But sometimes you got to have somebody. Especially if the man is living, he's on like pretty much living in his house now. He can't even go outside because of the threats to his life, literally. I saw some really, because he posted stuff on X and people are calling him a traitor, all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, oh my God. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to read now. And I'm going to read Fringe. I'm going to read you up in a second. But honestly, ICE mostly approach regimes, families back to Iran to make this makes more sense. So how will they be defeated? Okay, so a main key here is the Iranian army. That's a main key here. Why? Because if the Iranian army turns on the IRGC and then you hit the IRGC targets and you help the Iranian army, that could be the game changer. I'm not saying it is. But the question is the Iranian army going to flip? You might want to look into that part. The Iranian army is not IRGC. It's its own entity. If they were to turn, I'm not saying they are, that would be a big shift. That would be a major game changer in itself. Big if. You're counting on a lot of things to happen and assumptions. You would need to have some kind of a credible, reliable sourcing information on that. And you know there are people on the ground. Okay, so he's saying Tusi is not a reputable source. Neither is a widely accepted by neither, and neither is actually accepted by actual Iranians. Don't forget, real Iranian social media people speak in Farsi. Goldie is cool though. I like her. Again, you know, they're just trying to do their part to get the information out to the public, unlike a lot of our media does or doesn't. So I am not. I am definitely cutting them slack. Anybody can be criticized for anything. You know what I mean? You can always pick and find something that you don't necessarily agree, but I would say this, just like anything else. There may be something here or there you may not agree with, but the overall messaging and the overall work that they're doing, to me, is positive. They're trying. You know? And I totally understand what you're saying, Crafter. I totally get it. But the question is, who else is doing it? We need more people to do it. Because the media is not. Let me see. Oh, Amol's busting my chops. Don't mind Amol and Chad. That's my friend. He likes to bust my chops. That's typical Amol response. I've known him for like over a decade here hanging out. Deep story. There are two type army, one regime army and one independent army. How is not part a regime? Well, they are, but if they turn on the IRGC, there is two components. It's two-headed. You're right. But if one turns on the other, because they see that the writing's on the wall that the regime's going to fall, again, I am totally speculating. We all could do that. Who's to say? Are they going to stand by with the regime and the IRGC? I think a lot of people are banking on the army flipping. I'm not saying that's going to happen. The army will need motivating to turn. Yes. But that's what I said. If you're in, I'm just saying this. This is hypothetical. I'm speculating. Everything I say is speculation because we don't know. If we're in coordination with the people in the army, and I'm just saying, with a combination of cyber attack, U.S. strikes on IRG targets, coordinating with the army then make their move to decapitate IRGC. Speculation. It would have to be coordinated. The only way I could see it happening. Goldie supports Tusi, whose dad is in Iran. Yes. That's why I said in the message to him, God bless his family. God bless everyone. You cannot get any information of value from mainstream media. You can't. If Joe Rogan talks about it, it can be very helpful. That is a great point because he's got a huge reach audience. He should get Goldie on his show. And I know a lot of people might say, oh my God. But she's intelligent. Did you see what she did on Piers Morgan? She's, let me get my dog out of the room. He wants out. When he barks like that, he wants out. Goldie's very intelligent. Whether you like her or dislike her, she's smart. All right, Tycho, you can go. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go, mommy. Go, mommy. Go ahead. And then my dog wants out of the room now. He's a character. He's a husky. Smart. That's real too smart. Anyway, let me see what's going on in here now, the other chat. Yes, Donald Trump the president did do that, Fringe. He also announced a total freeze on meetings with, yes, that was yesterday. Yeah, I saw what the Foreign Ministry of Russia said. They're going to say that. Despite the regimes that sent the science to the nations, the leaked videos provide a voice for thousands who have fallen. But I'm going to tell you right now, the videos are much less coming out now. Because I've been scouring. It's a lot less now. We're not seeing as much coming out now. President Donald Trump to encourage protests and that help is on the way, urging them to continue seizing government institutions. Yes, that was yesterday. And like you said, Fringe, we don't know. End of story. We don't. All right, I'm going to read the other chat now. Russia is highly embedded. I don't think the tail will eat the head here, unfortunately. Excellent point. I like Goldie a lot after the Piers Morgan. I decided to care less. Okay. I know that she goes a little bit over the top, but she's very passionate and emotional. You know. Again, I'll say that. You know, she's very passionate. And it can seem over the top, but she's just very passionate about this. You know? Oh, God, that's my mother's doctor. I can hang up. I know there's an appointment for tomorrow. The Ukraine special operations relies heavily on the Iranian military and trade route. They just won't let Iran fall, in my opinion. That's why the geopolitical effects of this is important, too. How it affects other countries. Sarah Adams has a new YouTube channel that has a good breakdown of the Islamic factions in Iran. The Watch Floor. So someone's saying here to check out. Somebody else told me that. A friend of mine told me about her stuff. Sarah Adams. She was actually a guest on a show. On one of the shows that I produce. She was a guest. Actually a couple times. That has a good breakdown. Yes. Yeah, I can't share live cameras on the tube, on YouTube, because I'll get hit. Believe me, I will. So we can't do that. Unfortunately, I can only do so much. Articles, videos, I can talk over, commentary, stuff like that. But you have to be careful on the content. Especially on YouTube. And right now, I don't want to get a copyright strike and then be suspended. And then that would be the end. Why am I all tangled here? All right, let me see if anything is coming out now. I'm going to look at some people that I've been checking. And I'm going to check True Social. Has anybody... I know he talked about Greenland. I think there was supposed to be some meeting today about Greenland. The president was posting about that this morning, but I haven't checked. If anybody has True Social, see if the president has mentioned anything. While I look at this. Okay, he's talking about something else. He just posted. He's talking about Syria now. And this was an hour ago, Lindsey Graham. I completely endorse and support Senator Risch's call for calm in Syria, putting the new Syrian government on notice that human rights abuses against minorities will not be tolerated. Most disturbing of all is that I'm getting what I believe to be credible reports that Syrian army forces and Turkey may be advancing further against our Kurdish allies. A move that I believe would invoke a strong reaction from the United States. While I support giving this new Syrian government a chance, I will not tolerate or accept a brazen attack against our Kurdish allies, who are the main force in destroying the ISIS caliphate and have been strongly aligned with Israel through the years. To the Syrian government and Turkey, choose wisely. You know, Lindsey has that war hawkish personality. Well, I mean, really, he does. And you know, he does. I have to say, sometimes he runs it a little bit. That's just my opinion. He tends to run his mouth a little bit. And I know he's trying to make a point, but sometimes, you know. Hold off. Let's see. Iran wants Saudi Arabia, Turkey going to go crazy. What's going on? I'm reading your comments at the same time. No, it's fine, Fringe. You're just trying to help. I get it. It's fine. USF asserts assets are surging in Qatar. I've been saying that for the last few days. And the UK through. So someone's texting. I've been watching that the last few days. Who wrote that? Smack? I've been watching that. And you see all the C-17s coming in. There was one, like I said, there was a fueler near UK that was circling. I don't know if it's still circling. It looks like it's refueling something in the air. I'm assuming. And I'll go back to that in a second. I'm seeing if Pahlavi put anything out. No. See, he's quiet. The Crown Prince is quiet. He hasn't posted nothing for hours. Maybe he was told to. Who knows? We don't know. Everything is speculation. And I'm going to show you now what I noticed this morning. It looks like another tank is about to take off. Let's just share the screen. Looks like another tanker is about to take off. I do not see the drone anymore. The MQ-4C Triton. Yep, this one's about to take off. Which this has been common for the past few weeks. This is not unusual. This has been activity that's been going on for a few weeks. This might be a 17 coming in. It is. Yep. This one's coming in. And it's probably going to go to Qatar. And like somebody mentioned in chat, they've been coming in from Germany, UK, Ireland. They've been coming from all over the place. This one looks like it's going out. But watch this. Over the UK. I don't know if it's still there. It might be going back. It's not showing now. It might be this one. Come on. Okay, look at this. Look how many times this thing was circling. And then it goes back to base. Why did it do that and then go back to the base? Didn't go anywhere else. It just was doing this. What does that look like to anyone that knows about flight radar and what you're looking at right here? This could absolutely be a refueling process that came over from the Atlantic. They refueled it so it can get to its final destination, which would be somewhere in the Middle East. No? That's what it looks like to me. That something crossed over the Atlantic. They refueled it, and it's on its way to wherever it's going. Because, you know, it's not just going over the Pacific. Because a lot of people might speculate, oh, it's going to Diego Garcia. Well, it could happen over the Atlantic too. That's a heck of a, that's one trek. Refuel it to get to wherever it's going. I'm making, again, I'm assuming, speculation. But that is interesting. It took off, did this, and now it's landing. It's coming back. I may be reading too much into it, but that I find very interesting. Let me read chat again. Kevin, it just feels like there is no movement at all to indicate an upcoming strike from the U.S. compared to last year's attack on Iran or in Venezuela. This time around, it feels hollow. I said that when I started, Kevin. I'm starting to have second thoughts about this, but that could be on purpose. That could be the whole point, to make us, to not just make us think, but to make them think the same. The president does things to keep people guessing, which is great. Unlike some past administrations that tipped their hand before it would happen. So again, we have to see, and nighttime is coming. It's already dark here in most of Iran. So, I mean, this could be a long evening. I'm not saying anything's going to happen. I'm saying another night is approaching. So we're just going to have to see. But again, an indicator to me will always be the air traffic, civilian. And there's still a lot of it. A lot. So we can sit here and, speculate, which is all part of it. A lot of military flying over me. Andy, yes, I saw that. We were just looking at that. There is a lot of activity going on in the UK right now. And the UK may be helping escort, too. Just saying. An ally may be helping to escort. They won't be directly engaged, but they still can, with their assets, help us in other ways. Let's see. This week has been a learning week for me with Iran, which makes me upset. I haven't learned more outside the U.S. with issues and the culture of other countries. I was talking about that last night. Mom and I, we always go to a lot of different festivals to experience culture. We do that all the time. Unfortunately, it's not happening as much as it had in the past, especially the German festivals here, because there used to be quite a bit, especially in the Catskill Mountains, Hunter Mountain. New ownership, things changed. I'm not even going to get into that, because that has me upset. J.D. Vance has been pushing back. Yes, he wants to go with the diplomacy route, but that was what was said publicly. It could explain the delay. But remember, the president's going to reach his own conclusion no matter what anyone else says. He'll listen, but at the end of the day, it's him. It's his call, the commander-in-chief. He can listen to all of them. That's why I said last night, he's under a tremendous amount of pressure right now. Because this is huge. This isn't, and I don't want to try to compare it, this isn't Venezuela. That was a walkover. This is not the same thing. And yes, Iran's defensive posture was quite decimated by Israel in the 12th day in June. That doesn't mean that the Russians and the Chinese, and they've been going at it 24/7 to try to restructure their military forces. But that's 6 months. We have to wonder, what is Russia supplying them with? China is more of the technical upgrading capabilities for their missile systems. They provide a lot of technology. So that's another question. And I always worry about one thing that everybody needs to take into consideration too. They don't need to have a nuclear bomb, but they can sure make a dirty one. You have to ask all possible scenarios here. And I'm just saying, what happened now? Tart N39 just went over. RAF Laken Heath is busy. We were just looking at that on the map. Starlink is currently providing free internet. I saw that. Fringe. And what's up, Astro? Looks like the numbers out of Iran are controlled by the National Endowment for Democracy. I don't trust any of these groups or anything for numbers. Like, how do you know? You got to take everything with a grain of salt. Actually, I read that Elon's people at SpaceX are working around the clock to counter their jamming. That's what I read. That Elon, he has his people who, he's got one heck of a smart team. That they're working to counter what Iran is doing. So there's a lot going on. It's a cat and mouse thing too with that, with the Starlinks. So Elon is in. He's doing what he can. I'm just saying. Free access activated. SpaceX and Elon Musk reportedly activated the Starlink service. Yes. Waiving subscription fees as of January 14th. I saw that last night. So yes. Trump did reach his conclusion he would have pushed the attack button along with the social post if he could have. Noticed his rhetoric and resolve has simmered a bit. There was a post about that last night after the meeting that he seemed to be hesitant. But again, that could be on purpose. That comes out, that word comes out that he's, maybe he's not going to do it. You got to remember, that could be on purpose. We just don't know. We just don't know. Oh, what's coming in from Israel? What is this? Hold on. This is Telegram. This is coming in from Israel. Okay, so this is what the Israel News Daily 24/7 is posting right now. Breaking. Over 12,000 Iranians reportedly killed during internet blackout crackdown, according to Iran International. Insane. Wake up, world. So that's what a reporter just posted. Update. Here's the latest one that just happened 10 minutes ago. Israel and the U.S. are raising alert levels as the possibility of American strikes on Iran increases after President Trump warned Tehran over his violent crackdown on protesters. The U.S. has started evacuating some personnel from key bases in the region, while Israel is preparing for possible escalation, including missile or proxy retaliation. The IRGC has also gone on high alert and issued threats to countries hosting U.S. forces as unrest inside the country continues. But we all know this. That's pretty much summarizing what we already know. At least most of us. Oh shit. This was just posted just now, 2 minutes ago. Amir Sarfati, he's like a big time reporter in Israel. Several cities, regional and local councils across Israel have opened shelters due to the tense security situation. Some did so openly and declared, while others opened the shelters quietly, so as not to create panic. The quote, better to be prepared than to be surprised. So they're starting to open up the shelters in Israel. This is a repost of what the other reporter said. I'll just read this one because it's a little different. The U.S. has started evacuating some personnel from key bases in the region, while Israel is preparing for possible escalation, including missile or proxy. So it's pretty much saying the same thing. And I just read that. So that's the latest coming from Telegram. They're removing key personnel race from military bases. So yeah, there was a meeting this morning. I want to get quotes though. I hate that. I got to go on Truth Social. Because what he was focusing on this morning was Greenland. Okay, let's go check it out. I don't know if anybody else has been looking at it. Oh, I said that earlier. You can't trust the images, the video. How do you know? You can't. I said that earlier, Fringe. You have to take everything that you see with a grain of salt or here. I'm going to Truth Social. I'm also seeing what other people are saying. That was 2 hours ago. Yeah, he hasn't said anything about Iran. No. Just green. Most of it is Greenland. If you want to hear what he said about Greenland. This was a few hours ago. The United States needs Greenland for the purpose of national security. It is vital for the Golden Dome that we are building. NATO should be leading the way for us to get it. If we don't, Russia or China will. And that is not going to happen. Militarily, without the vast power of the United States, much of which I built during my first term, and I am now bringing a new and even higher level, NATO would not be an effective force or deterrent, not even close. They know that, and so do I. NATO becomes far more formidable, and effective with Greenland in the hands of the United States. Anything less than that is unacceptable. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President DJT, Donald J. Trump. So that's what that was like this. There was some type of meeting today on Greenland. I think the Danish Prime Minister, there was representatives. So I don't see anything yet because he's in the middle of doing things right now. He's got other things on that he's got to be concerned about. And he just reposted that about Greenland. So I'll keep an eye on his posts. But that's all I see right now on Truth Social. Let's see if there's anything new. I'm telling you, a lot of politicians are now they're not talking about it. Mom, please don't talk to me right now. My apologies, but don't talk to me right now. I don't know, but he couldn't have left the house. He doesn't have the, he's here somewhere. Oh my God. So again, there's a lot of posts on X. That individual I showed earlier was an Iranian rapper that fled and now is in Turkey. This is 2 hours ago. But we can't trust the audio. How do we know? A doctor inside Iran delivers a stark warning. The killing is widespread, hospitals are buckling, and the blackout is hiding the scale of the bloodshed. Bodies stack up, makeshift morgues fill with grief, and much of it remains unseen beyond Iran's borders. How do we know that? And they have an audio clip from it. But how do we know? Let's see. Elon is experimenting with the 5G internet on mobile phones without a dish. Kevin, that would be awful for the people of Iran that have been protesting on the hope and motivation that Trump is coming to help. If we are not doing anything, I hope we clarify to them as well. That's what I said earlier. You're telling these people to go out on the streets, and if this massacre is occurring, and you're telling them to continue to going onto the streets and take over institutions, you are telling these people to risk their lives. And if he does nothing, oh my gosh. That's also part of this too. You're right, Kevin. That would be the worst thing. Not just for the people of Iran, but for this president. That wouldn't be good. So I just because of that, I don't think the president is going to not do anything. But it may not be what we all think is coming. I don't know, but what they're evacuating their bases, personnel, probably civilian people that are contractors and stuff like that. I would think. And they're taking them out of Qatar too. What's up, Mad Million? So yeah, this is... I can't emphasize enough how difficult of a decision this is for the President of the United States. Would you want to be in his shoes right now? Honestly? To make this kind of a decision? Would you? Because it could potentially start off a whole regional issue here. And I'm talking about Israel. And our bases. That's probably why they're pulling back people. To protect them. We have to protect our servicemen and women. That goes without saying. Let me check this again one more time. I want to see the UK stuff. Still, that tanker that was circling around the UK on and on and on and then went back and landed. That's interesting. Okay, where is this tanker? Okay, the tanker is doing its typical flight path right now. It just took off from Qatar. But this has been a routine thing. And I've been watching this for weeks now. It goes up, and then it goes west. It either disappears or it goes into Iraq a little bit, and then it disappears. That's what I've been noticing with the tankers. It's been pretty consistent. This is a C-17. This looks like a tanker. In Germany, it is. That one should have landed by now. Look at all the activity over the UK. They've got a lot of fighters in the air. Here's that tanker that I think probably is landing now. That did that crazy circular. Look at that. It went right off the coast, did this, and is landing now. That makes me wonder. That really does. I might be reading too much into it, but that makes me wonder. Was it refueling aircraft? Don't know. I also want to check. That's typical. Let's go to Asia. Let's see if there's any tanker activity here. Because it would be going to Diego Garcia. It is. That cannot be that quiet. That's impossible. It's got to load. I'm going to refresh because that's impossible. Impossible. Can't be that. Oh, now it went back to there. Unbelievable. We got to refresh. It just might be easier. Nah. We can go this way too. The map is acting up. Could that be for real? That's really unusual to see no real transponder activity here. That is unusual. Let's see, Japan. There has to be. This is usually lit up. Unless it's glitching. Oh my God. Unless it's glitching. That's mom calling me on my phone. That's what that is. I could hear the message she's trying to do. So yeah, that's unusual. That you don't see anything going on here. It really is. I'm telling you, that's really unusual. I just want to do this. And then refresh, because it should refresh to this screen. You don't know. That's not. This is, I'm telling you, this is unusual, because usually you see Japan lit up. Nothing. Transponders are off. Yeah, so again, I'm not seeing anything out of the ordinary. And there's still a lot of air traffic. Anyway. So again, there's not much coming out. Yeah, the Stratotanker was circling near the UK, Andy, where you are. Drones hunt for Starlink users in Iran as internet blackout continues. Yeah. Free Palestine. I see what you're writing. I see what you're writing. Let's see what else everybody's saying. Yeah, so right now it's just everybody's watching and waiting. It's like I said, there's not much coming out right now, and I still haven't had any confirmation if that person was executed today in Iran. There are some people posting that it did, but there's no confirmation that that existed. And the president said yesterday, if they are going to do that, they're going to pay. But I have not seen anything to confirm that it did happen, and they usually do it at dawn. So that would be hours ago. I could look it up, but I have not seen anything confirming that to be the case. God willing, it didn't happen. What is it, Mom? I'm live.
I'm always have baby's phone. I don't have it now. I'm trying to call,
All right, we'll do that in a few minutes. I'll help you in a second.
but you always say that.
I will. I'm a little busy right now.
Yeah, you always say that.
I'm not seeing anything. 8 minutes ago. See, there are people saying that it happened. But we can't confirm that, so I'm not going to share it. I'm reading it that some people on X are saying that it did happen. But it's not confirmed. By a reliable, and I hate using the word source because I just hate that. Sources say, what is the source? I despise when I hear that. Sources say that this. Well, what's the source? Reveal the source. Otherwise, it's, you know what I mean? It's like, what the hell is the source? Doesn't that annoy people? It annoys me. Well, a source from those that know the situation or whatever. Give me a break. Reveal the source. I'm having a lot of traffic here right now, so.
I can't be traffic.
All right, I'll be right back because she's going to keep.
What?
I'll be right back.
I'm not saying nothing.
I know you're not saying anything, but what is it? What do you need?
I just
You need help?
to 24/7.
There is none. There's none right now. I got to make them. There's none. Here. Here, Mom. Take it. Here. You don't have to sit down.
I am gonna sit down. What? This is my house.
All right.
I could do anything I want.
All right. Okay. Oh my God. And people are showing old photos of past executions.
What?
Mom, please. So no, I'm not seeing anything that's credible on this. People are posting about it. You know, that's the thing that's annoying AI. The irresponsible propaganda that people put out there. That's horrific. And to me, that's an exploitation of what's actually going on with the people of Iran or anywhere. That you would do that? This is a human being. And you're just going to say that without having credible evidence that it did happen or not? If a family member reads something like that, and they don't know what's going on, that is horrific. I mean, it's cruel to me. It's her house, be nice. I know. But trust me, it turns into more of a sitcom. The back and forth. All right, let me see. A lot of people get a kick out of it, actually. But I'm trying to focus, it's a little difficult. But you're all right. Be nice. They're telling me to be nice to you, Mom.
Thank you.
You heard?
That was nice. You made me happy.
She says you make her happy
Thank you.
by saying that. Exactly. Sources say so. Therefore, I'm a source. You're a source. Everybody's a source. Yippee! You're right. Everybody's a source. If that's the case. Oh.
Does that really happen, though?
All right. Hold.
That plane?
What plane? You're not looking at something. You're looking at a screen share on TV.
Chinese?
U.S. freezes visas for 75 countries as
Too close to one. Australia.
the Daily Mail just put something out.
Big mistake.
This is what I mean.
Ooh.
Okay, so the National Union for Democracy, NUFDI, put out a post.
Are you still talking to the people?
Yes, Mom, please.
Happy New Year.
Mom says Happy New Year.
God bless you all.
And God bless you
your
all
family.
and your families. Andy, stop. Yeah, family's family. And they're precious, and while they're still with us. You know what I mean?
Trying to say that I'm alive and I'm gonna die?
No. Because a lot of people don't have their parents or their loved ones, and you have to. It's precious to still have that in your life. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that's right.
1 minute ago, I'm just gonna put it on. How about that? That's a good idea, right? This is NUFDI. We are talking about using military weapons, AK-47s, armored trucks, to kill unarmed protesters. In a conversation with Brett Barr, Crown Prince Pahlavi describes how the regime is waging war against Iranians. This is 1 minute ago that they posted this, in a desperate attempt to save itself. So this is a long clip. Would you guys want to see this whole thing or no? I'm asking all of you. Independence, Alberta, I know who you are. I know who that is, Astro. I'm asking all of you on the YouTube chats. Do you want to see this whole clip with Reza Pahlavi? I'll play it if you want me to. I know there's a delay to hear what he has to say. And thank you, Melissa. They're saying God bless you, Mom.
I love Melissa, yes. I wish she could come
That's not the
sometime.
same Melissa, but yes, it's Melissa.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
She's welcome to come.
Mom says you're welcome to come.
So we have two of them.
She's a
That would
grat.
be fun.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea.
That would be
P25. All right, let's play this so I can have a couple of minutes.
Let me go to my room,
Oh, now she's going to her room. Timing is everything.
wash myself. Wash the.
Riots, arson attacks on public and private property, and above all, terrorism. Shooting at civilians, firing on armed forces and police are things no country would tolerate. I hope that some countries that have taken very misguided positions will pay attention to the realities on the ground.
Look, one death is too much, but I hear much lower numbers and then I hear much higher numbers. But I say save their names because they'll pay a very big price.
All right, because I'm playing this clip, I have to pause it just like Goldie has to and everybody else. Otherwise, YouTube will come and get you. So, obviously, this is in response to the back and forth rhetoric that's going back and forth. And this is over, I think this was yesterday, actually.
Well, joining me now is exiled Iranian Crown Prince, His Royal Highness Reza Pahlavi.
So I'm assuming this was last night, so because it says breaking tonight.
Your Royal Highness, thanks for being here.
Thank you.
You are in contact with people on the ground inside Iran?
As much as possible in the last 72 hours. As you know, it's been very difficult to access people, but every now and then information gets to us. I was able the night before last to have a FaceTime moment with a few of the people who came right off the street to tell us how the situation was on the ground. I mean, awe and admiration in the courage that they have displayed. But the sad news is that we had more casualties in the last 2 days, 4 times the number of people who were dead as a result of the 9/11 terrorist attack.
Whoa. 4 times. So he's saying 12,000. Approximate. That's what he just said. 4 times the amount of 9/11. So that's roughly 12,000.
Trying to get our head
plus.
around that. What is the number that
About
you...
12,000 plus.
12,000 plus.
That's what we get so far. It might be more, but that's the minimum number that we know so far have been killed.
Killed by the regime. This is not arrested.
I mean,
this is
we are
killed.
talking about using military weapons, AK-47s, armored trucks to shoot to kill unarmed protesters. Their bodies are being picked up by bulldozers and
Oh my God. But I mean, this is coming from Reza Pahlavi, but wouldn't it be useful to have images of this occurring? You know what I mean? To, maybe he has it. He's in communication with the President Trump and his team, so maybe we're not seeing it, but they have, obviously, the information. I am just assuming.
they charge each family for the bullet to be able to just retrieve the remains. It's abhorrent what's happening.
Obviously, we have no way to verify that independently. We've had reports of 3,000, 4,000 plus. The president's talked about thousands. And he said that it's crossing this red line and he's going to make a decision. You've been on record before opposing U.S. military intervention in Iran. Are your views different today?
Brett, when you have civilians being murdered, massacred in a war that is waged against them by their own government, when the regime orders troops to fire on unarmed crowds, defenseless people, the only way they have a chance to have an equal playing field to overcome this regime is when they cannot neutralize this repressive force.
Now, he's making a great point because many people in Iran are unarmed. There were dump trucks, and I've seen the video of it. And like I said, I cannot confirm it to be accurate or credible. But there were dump trucks dumping stones on the streets in Iran, so they had something to throw. And they're using Molotovs, all that stuff. Yes, over 92 million people. So, and just like I said, and that's what Brett Barr just said, we cannot confirm this, what he's saying. And that's true.
Some additional help is needed. I don't look this as an aggression to a country.
Hold on, I got to take an important call. Okay, I apologize, but I had to take that call. All right, so let's continue.
I'm talking about helping a nation liberate itself by giving them assistance that cannot otherwise obtain on their own. That's why it's critical and empowering. But a message of strength says we are not going to stand for this and will not turn our back on these people. What the president said was so energizing, and it caught like wildfire, and people are going back to the streets to continue the fight.
You had a meeting with the peace envoy, Steve Witkoff, over the weekend. Is that correct?
But I'm not going to discuss the people we are in touch with out of respect for the administration. These are sensitive moments. But what I can tell you is that what the president has said has been extremely energizing to the people. The Iranian people count on this president to follow through on his promise that he made.
See, that's so important. The people of Iran, I mean, they are really hinging and doing this because they've heard the president say he's going to come and help. Help is on the way. So, and Pahlavi is being very careful as to not to overstep. And that's a smart thing he's doing. So he's being cautious.
And this is something that will keep them hopeful that this time they're not going to be thrown under the bus as they have before.
So getting from point A, where we are, to point B, if the regime, as some people suggest, collapses and the protesters have this moment, what is the model for success? What is the country that you have in mind?
Okay. If I was to ask, if Brett Barr, if anybody in the chat would like to respond to Brett Barr's question, which is totally legitimate, what would be the process? Obviously, a transitional government that would create a democracy, a republic with a parliament similar to that of the UK model. Yes, you would have a symbolic monarchy, and the people are asking for Pahlavi to be that person to help the transition. And they would have to have elections and probably have independent people to observe the elections. But they would definitely need to have a parliament that is constructed similar to that of the UK model, where the people vote, and that's how it's set up. Let's see what Pahlavi says.
Or you other protesters have in mind the model for success?
You know, the only way that we can have the ability as a nation to determine our own future is within a democratic process of free election, the formation of a constitutional assembly where the future form of a democratic secular system can be debated and determine what its final form could be. So in the process of transition post-collapse, we have to have a plan of action, which we do. Have a comprehensive plan that addresses what needs to happen during that transition, how are we going to manage that process, what is the responsibility of an interim government to set the stage for that, and at the end, let the Iranian people, in complete transparency, debate what it is that ultimately they would like to opt for.
But you yourself haven't.
And that's exactly, that's the way, in the direction. And a lot of people might say, will he keep his word? You know, a lot of people are going to question that, obviously. But that would be, to me, the right way to go about it, what he's saying. Because the MEK, oh my gosh, you should have seen Giuliani, what he was posting about him and the family. They're crooked, they're corrupt. So, you know, there's a lot of that out there too.
Been there since 1978, is that correct?
1978 was when I left Iran for the last time.
Is there a team on the ground? Are there people? You don't have an army. How does this happen?
Oh, well, remember we brought the army issue up earlier. Let's see what he says about this.
It's a combination of people who are inside Iran right now that are members of civil society. There are lawyers, experts, economists, university people. We're talking about a very strong polity that despite this regime have been able to survive all these years, and they need to step in to fill the void. A lot of people are ready to step in. There's a counterpart outside that in a sort of hybrid system can help one another in that process. And I think the important thing is to be able to protect their identities to the very end so they're not prematurely exposed, which is why it's not so obvious that we can ask them to, show up and not be immediately endangered. So we have to be very careful about that. But we are constantly in dialogue with them, preparing that transfer. So as soon as this regime collapses, we can immediately engage those forces within and constitute all the elements that will contribute to that.
I know you had some meetings on Capitol Hill.
Okay, so this was last night, I'm assuming, correct? I don't know. I don't know if this was last night. But look where he is. He's in D.C. Do you think that he was part of any meetings with the president? Again, I'm totally speculating. Totally. But you could see where he's at. He's in D.C. So you know he's probably working in tandem and in coordination with the president's administration. You would think. Am I making too much out of that? I don't know.
Were those positive? I mean, do you get good sense from the lawmakers?
I think that many lawmakers on the Hill, regardless of which party they represent, understand how critical it is, especially if you want to promote liberty and democracy, that Western democracies, the U.S. at the top of the list, have a crucial role to play to support freedom-seeking nations. And I think they understand that beyond just word of encouragement or condemnation, we have reached a point where some action is needed, regardless of what the executive branch wants to do. The legislative side has to be in support of anything that can empower a nation, because at the end of the day, it's about empowerment. It's about giving a nation. And we've seen that before. How did apartheid come to an end?
Right.
How did the Soviet Union collapse?
But we also saw it in the Green Revolution, which didn't develop, and there was criticism that we as the U.S. didn't do enough to help on the ground. 2009.
It is true.
Do you think this is the tipping point?
This is very different.
Is the moment.
It is very different, Brett, because
The pause, because otherwise I'll. And Brett again is asking very legitimate questions. And I'm surprised he didn't mention anything about the Army. But Brett is asking good questions, actually, to him.
the demand now is not just economic hardship or shortcomings or lack of liberalization. We have come to the point where people are just fed up with this regime. They are saying death to the dictator. They want to liberate themselves. And their demand for freedom is met with the most brutal reaction by a regime that is waging war on its own citizens. How else can we liberate ourselves when there's such degree of pressure without having?
All right, hold on. I'm going to continue playing this right now.
At some point, an element of backing and support from free nations that stand on the right side of history. Do not throw us under the bus by trying to negotiate or appease a regime that for 47 years has brutalized our nation.
So he doesn't want to see any kind of negotiations with the... That's like a stalling tactic. It's not going to go anything. And the president clearly said it, that he is not going to negotiate with them until they stop the violence against the people of Iran, which is not going to happen because they come out and they said they're going to have mass executions and everything else. And so the president is not going to. It's not going to happen. He's not going to negotiate. He said it yesterday. Negotiations are off. So he's being very careful, obviously, which is smart. I'm seeing if there's any other posts. That was the last post by Nufti. That's current. And that's an important clip because it's credible. It's real. It's not AI, and it's not something that we can say is questionable of its authenticity. So that's what I'm trying to find, things that are more on that line. Let's see if he's talking anymore. I'm still watching the President's Truth Social. Just keeping an eye. Nothing. Oh my God. Somebody put something in there. Yeah, these are not. I don't see anything new. 3 minutes ago, he liked what Mark Levin posted. He said, like Mark Levin show, I agree this analysis of where we stand regarding Iran is absolutely 1,000 correct. Time is of the essence. This is 3 minutes ago, Lindsay. The good news is President Trump is not Obama. I believe he is Reagan plus. So the post that Mark Levin had put that Lindsay agrees. I just spoke with a friend who managed to reach Iraqi Kurdistan. This is what he told me. Quote, the number of people killed is far higher.
It really does depend.
What is that? Hold on a second. My TV just went on.
Meeting with a spirit of compromise or confrontation in mind. I mean, certainly, again, we've just heard from Donald Trump on his social media platform.
Now, where's my toy?
He's insisting.
Where is my remote?
Taking Greenland. Now,
my remote is
Greenland
not here.
Is a semi-autonomous territory.
My remote has
Denmark
disappeared.
And Greenland and Denmark say, no way. You know, you can't just take this Arctic island. You know, the biggest island in the world. It's not yours for the taking. Donald Trump says he needs Greenland for national security reasons.
Okay, that went off. Mom took the remote. Oh my gosh. I'm telling you, it's a sitcom on the sideshow here. She was messing around with the TV and she had it on pause and it just started playing again. Anyway, let me read this over now. The number of people killed is far higher than 12,000. This is what Mark Levin posted an hour ago. The massacre is beyond horrific. The regime is close to succeeding in crushing the uprising through unchecked violence. The brutal cold is another decisive factor. People simply cannot stay in the streets longer. If help does not arrive today or at the latest tomorrow, the game is over.
This is your remote?
I got it already, Mom. Thanks. Just close the door, please.
Yes, I have it.
Okay. So, time is of the essence. I said that earlier. I know, I think it was somebody said yesterday we might have to wait till the markets close on Saturday. I don't know if we can wait till Saturday. To be honest, I don't know if we can wait till Saturday. But then again, this just could be the narrative that the politicians are putting out there that, because it's Lindsay, we need to act now. Lindsay's been on this for like a week. We need to do it now. You should have seen what he said at a fundraiser a few nights ago. I was like, oh my God, Lindsay, calm down. I don't know if anybody's seen that clip. I don't know if he still has it up. He might have taken it down. Yeah, I think Lindsay took it down. But it was an interesting clip, to say the least. Yeah, I think he took it down. What he said at a fundraiser, I was like, whoa. That's Lindsay. Let's see. I just wonder if that what the heck is going on again? I shut the TV off. What is going on with the TV? What is going on?
Eso de que no te bloqueen y nomás se ve el mensaje como leído y no te pele.
Maybe this isn't the remote. Yeah, this might not be the remote. Mom, where's that remote? Because my TV's activated. Where's that remote you're playing with? Oh my gosh. Not just one remote. Mom has 3. Mom has 3 remotes. I don't know what the heck is going on. All right, it's not this one. This is so bizarre. This is the problem when you... That's the one. That's mine. This one. Not one remote. She had 3. Oh my gosh. Oh man. Can't make it up. I got mine. I don't know what's going on with yours. Oh my gosh. Insanity. I gotta hide these remotes. Anyway, I apologize, but it is what it is. All right. Haha, you like the Star Trek stuff in the background? I built those. A lot of those models you see up there were not designed for lights. I made them designed for lights. It was not easy at all. Trust me, it wasn't easy to make those. The Millennium, I don't want to get off topic, but the Millennium, yeah, in the back. But I did some on the top. The other one up there, yes. The rest, no. That's a topic for another day. Drilling different bits and doing all kinds of stuff and putting the lights in there. That is not easy to make that work. Anyway, I bought them on Amazon, most of them. But again, they're not made for lights. That's a lot of work in itself, let me tell you. I'll pull up an example, one picture, because like I said, I don't want to get off topic here. I'll show you an example of what I went through with those models. If I find them. I know I have the pictures in front of me. I just got to find you an example. You know what's beautiful? You can't tell. You camera does not do this justice, by the way. You see the Star Destroyer? Because of its angle, you can't really see it. But look how beautiful it looks with all the lights. Look how beautiful it came out. And I had to drill all those holes. See? Look how beautiful that looks, right? But this is an example of the work involved. Right here. Just to get a little off topic, but you brought up about the models and putting all the lights. This is not made for lights. I had to drill the holes with different bits. I had to put the wiring in here, the wiring in here, the wiring on this side, to put all this shit together on a model that is not built for lights is not easy. Not easy at all. This is one of my favorites I built. And I know I'm going off topic. I apologize, but this is one of my favorites. That's the one up there, but you can't see it. Look how nice that came out. Right? Again, to give you an example, when I put the two pieces together, this was, I think, Voyager. And then I put a piece, see this? I put the two halves together with the lights on each side. Then I put this piece of cardboard because this is blue, this is white. So like I said, there's a lot of work involved to put these models together. But it's fun. And you appreciate it. Excuse me. You appreciate it when they're done, you know what I mean? I spent like my whole winter last year building those models. And like this, and one more, then I'm done. Like, I had to drill these holes. That's when I spray painted it. But it's a process. And look at this one upside down. Look at the dog upside down. Unbelievable. He's like out cold. Yeah, so that's why I say it's a lot of work. It's fun though. It's a good hobby. But it's an investment to do all that. Anyway, since somebody brought it up in chat, Janeway, that's the Voyager. Anyway, let's see. I really enjoyed making those models. It took up most of my winter. You got to see, I have a aircraft carrier Enterprise over there. I've got one up there that was like a Lego of a battleship. That was the hardest model to make. That model was crazy to make. Because if you messed up one piece, it ruined the whole model to put it together further. There were times I had to take the pieces apart to redo it because I missed a piece. Literally. That was a little frustrating. It's over here. I don't want to take my camera off, but because then the wire, it could freeze if the wire gets messed up. But, oh my God, it's going to happen. I'm going to get messed up. You can't see it. Oh, you can't see it. And I'm afraid to pull this wire. It's over there. See it? That doesn't light up though. That thing is 3 feet long. Alexa, brighten living room light.
Okay.
Now you can kind of see it over there. See it? It takes up the whole shelf. It's 3 feet long. And then over there, see it over there in the corner, is a aircraft carrier. It lights up. So yeah. And maybe we could do this now that I'm doing it. You can see. Alexa, shut off living room light.
Okay.
You can see all the models. I can't go closer because I'll mess it up. So yeah. Alexa, turn on living room light. I don't want to mess this wire up.
Okay.
Alexa, dim light 50%.
Okay.
It's a great hobby. That's all. I'm done endorsing models. And let's not even talk baseball with my Yankee collection. Because there's a vast Yankee collection over there. All right, let's see if I find anything. It's good to go off topic sometimes just to break the tense, what's going on. I want to see if this person is posting anything. Because he has been. Let's see if he's been putting anything out there. No. So, yesterday, the Supreme Leader put this post out. The Iranian nation made a historic day. These great rallies, overflowing with your firm determination, have completely shattered the foreign enemy's plots that were supposed to be carried out by internal hirelings. He posted that yesterday. If you're so confident, get out of your hole. If you're so confident, get out of your hole. Get out of hiding. You sound very confident. I don't think so. I'm just seeing if there's anything else. And that 12,000 number is coming up a lot. See, they're posting it again. Excuse me. There are numerous posts saying that they did do the execution today. But there's no confirmation on that. There's a lot of people posting about it. God willing, that did not happen. Efren Soltani, 26 years old. Oh my God. I can't show graphic because, again, we cannot confirm them to be true. I'm not going to share anything that is questionable. The video of the Iranian rapper is everywhere. The one I showed earlier, it's everywhere. Now, Daily Mail. This is what the Daily Mail is putting out there. Take it for what it's worth. Trump military intervention in Iran appears likely and possibly within the next 24 hours, officials warn. What officials warn? Tell me who the officials are. Please tell me who the officials are. As U.S. evacuates Middle East military base. So take that for what it's worth. That's what the Daily Mail is putting out there. Literally a few minutes ago. Yeah, there's going to be a lag. What's it? Good morning, Mike. So yeah, they're saying here, we know this. This was confirmed. This was confirmed about the United States withdrawing some personnel from bases. probably civilian contractors. Iran, I heard that too by their foreign ministry that, or whoever it was, a parliament member, that they would warn neighbors they would hit American bases if Washington strikes. You know what was a little surprising yesterday? I'll tell you what was a little surprising to me. That the president wasn't told about the rhetoric that it's coming out of Iran talking about him. He said, I haven't heard any of that. It's almost like the people around him, some of them, like somebody mentioned that J.D. Vance wants more of a diplomatic path, don't want to tell him because he's going to get so pissed off if he hears what they're saying about him, that he's delusional, that at one point one person said they wanted to kidnap him. I mean, it's like, are they telling him? Because that might shift his opinion. You got to remember, there was an assassination attempt by that government after Soleimani. Are they telling him what he really needs to know, or are they avoiding telling him certain things because it's going to make him so outraged? And I don't know. Like when CBS News asked him about the amount of people and then the possibility that they were going to execute people, they're going to start execute. It's like he was surprised. I was like, really? They're not telling you what's going on? But the thing is it credible? And that's the question. The credibility of anything that's coming out of Iran. The president needs confirmation. It's almost like Iraq with the WMDs. I hate to use that analogy, but you don't want to get involved in something without having absolute credible facts. So I just hope that they're giving him the proper information. Because we don't know who's got his ear, who he's really listening to on this. I would hope they're giving him the right information. You always got to wonder about that. Or lack of information, because they think that could sway his overall opinion on it and decision making. I don't know. But it was like he was surprised. I think, well, like people that he watches, that you know he watches, should be talking about this more so that the president is made aware. But then again, and you know, like Brett Barr said, independent sources have not confirmed this. This is a really, really delicate. But I agree. Something if you're going to do something, it has to be too soon, very soon, like really soon. I agree with that overall consensus. If you're going to do something, you got to do something soon, within the next 24 to 48 hours. Forget about the markets. Forget about the effects of all that. I understand it. I get it. Getting personnel out, get it. But something's got to give soon, if it's going to happen. My opinion. I don't know how you all think about it and feel. Don't you hate that when they say that? No official name? Oh, wait a minute. What did Mrs. Soriano say? No official name, but Qatar International Media Office confirmed. See, that makes me think twice. Fully agree. We got to step in before that 12,000 if the 12,000 number is conservative. We just don't know. The numbers may be double that. They may be. I mean, you saw what the Crown Prince told Brett Barr. It was 4 times your 9/11. That's 12,000. And then as soon as I said that's 12,000, he said 12,000 plus. I was like, whoa. But where is he getting that information from? And he's in Washington, D.C., and there was a meeting last night. Was he and his team part of that meeting? He's in D.C. And I think they should protect where he's at. I really do. I don't know why they showed the D.C. background. I wouldn't want to reveal where he's at. But obviously, if he's sitting with Brett Barr in studio and they got the background of the Capitol, you know where kind of he is. No? It's on Fox right now, the article I referenced, and I agree. I think the number is much higher. Alexa, what time is it in Iran?
It's 8:02 p.m. in Iran.
8:02. And yes, watch, because I've been watching this for 2 weeks. I really thought this was going to even go down sooner. Because remember, when Netanyahu met with the president a few weeks ago, Israel really was itching to hit Iran, to take out their ballistic development. Remember that? I really thought something was going to happen sooner by Israel. Then this happened. It changed everything. That's why I've been watching Flight Radar and everything else for like the last 2-3 weeks, because I really thought after the meeting with Netanyahu, something was going to pop off. That they either greenlit Israel to take action, or they were working together on the potential scenarios of the option to hit their ballistic program. I know the nuclear thing is, but it was really about their ballistic. So I've been watching this. And I've been watching the movements of these tankers. It's been consistent. It would go up from Qatar, go up the Persian Gulf, into Kuwait, and you see where it is now? It would go left. Transponder would go off, or it would stay on, and you would see it going toward Iraq and central Iraq, and then turn off. I'm really curious to see what this is doing right now, because that has been the flight path. That has been steady. It's been consistent. I have not seen changes in that. Germany is a big area to watch, and the UK, and Ireland. Whatever that is small. Daddy 11. That's a small one. Daddy 11. You gotta wonder sometimes when they use these. Okay, so I'm not seeing anything over there. It's kind of quiet, right? Maybe a little too quiet. Where's this tanker going? That one had to have left. Yep. Bahrain, that's the one we're watching. That's the Qatar one. Chrome or Hercules? Interesting. The drone is no longer visible. It may have landed. I wonder if the UK is providing fuelers too. That's a fueler by the UK. The UK could definitely do support. They could provide support. They won't get directly involved, but they can provide the assets to support. You don't expect the UK to get involved in this. What is this? That's another C-17. Wow, look where the heck did that come from? Over there, okay. So again, not much to be seen on flight radar. Doesn't mean that there's not more going on. And there's still a heck of a lot of air traffic. A heck of a lot. Let me see if anything's going on Telegram. I'm trying to check as many sources as possible without putting things that are questionable on the screen that cannot be really verified. I'm not going to do that because there's a bunch of stuff, but I just don't know if it's true or not. I won't do that. A lot of it could just be propaganda. Again, nothing on Truth Social for the last couple of hours from the president that I'm seeing. I am keeping an eye. And I may take a break. And if anything pops off, if I see any weird things like planes being diverted or alerts, because believe it or not, Israel's something to watch too, because Israel will be one of those targets. So I have a lot of stuff on Telegram from Israel. Okay. There's a couple more new posts. And that's what we refer to later. The U.S. just froze visa. This is what I think Lindsey Graham, somebody that we were looking at. The U.S. just froze visa processing for 75 countries. If you're in Russia, Brazil, Iran, Iraq, Yemen, Egypt, or Somalia, you can't get a U.S. visa right now. They're worried about them coming here and doing domestic terrorism. Oh my gosh, somebody brought this up yesterday. Oh my God. He put this up there too. Israel holds a card that's kept in reserve. The ability to paralyze 2/3 of Iran's economy in a single strike. All it would take is a handful of precision bombs on critical oil infrastructure, and the bottom would fall out of an already struggling economy overnight. Israel kept this card during the June war as a deterrent. Even if the Iranians believed they had more missiles than Israel had interceptors, they knew Israel could make them bleed much more. Oh my God. I don't know if this is true though. This is coming from an Iranian reporter. This was a few minutes ago. Iranian opposition sources. There's that sources word again. Forces subordinate to the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence raided the Malad hospital in Isfahan and abducted several doctors who treated the wounded for the protests. They're even kidnapping and taking in the doctors that are treating the people. Allegedly. Because we don't know this to be true. 2 official European sources tell Reuters, this was a few minutes ago, an American attack on Iran is likely within the next 24 hours. Again, 2 European sources told Reuters. And again, the same thing. The United States is withdrawing some, and this was on Fox News. There's a Trump signing ceremony today at 2 p.m. Because I'm looking at the Fox screen. I don't know what that's about. Alexa, what is President Trump's ceremony today at 2 p.m. about?
I don't have specific information about President Trump's ceremony at 2 p.m. today. Would you like me to check for any recent news about his schedule?
Yes.
I don't have current information
All right, Alexa,
about
stop.
President Trump's...
That's just commentary. This is something to do with Gaza. And this is a repost of the same article. And that's all that's on Telegram. So that's, I get a lot of like the information from like the news agencies and like the reporters that have credibility somewhat in Israel when they post stuff, because they've been consistent in the past. Those are the kind of people I pay attention to. All right, let me catch up with chat. It's on Fox. Okay. Flight radar right now still shows traffic, but a huge reduction over. I can't see that with my eyes. In Iraq, just since this morning. Kuwait looks normal, but has significantly lower traffic. They're getting intel, so the mission will be a success. It has to be a success. Anything less is absolute failure, and not just failure by us, but failure for the Iranian people. Are you kidding? The UK will probably welcome. Oh my gosh! Yeah, what's up with that? What's up with the coverage that the UK has on this? What is up with that? I mean, what the heck? I shake my head. Like some of the things coming out of the UK and the coverage. What? And I don't know exactly. You guys, if you live in the UK, you fill me in, because I don't know. I'm not there. You would know. You live there. I ain't going to speak out of, I don't know. But I've been hearing that a lot from other UK folks. And another thing I've been hearing is from France too. Just not the UK, it's France too. We'll give you visas to get out of Iran and come here. What? That's some really bizarre shit. I have to just say it like that. That is just what? I don't want to curse. What the F is going on with France and the UK? Angry says, also the U.S. may give other support other than a military strike. Absolutely. It's not just one option. There's multiple options on the table. Cyber, on the ground. I don't want to start a controversy, the Mossad, the CIA, all that. I don't, because people are going to say, oh, this is an operation to undermine, you'll hear all that. There are other forms of support they can give to the revolution. Absolutely. I honestly think there'll be a cyber attack before there's an actual, if it happens, a military strike. Keep an eye out for that. Well, how will we know? It's not like a real time, and oh gosh, yes, and I agree with everybody what they're saying in there. So Mrs. Soriano says, definitely so at angry, but to me, in parentheses, aviation vet and a general nerd overall. And for those that serve, thank you for your service and the sacrifices you made and your families. There's a lot more moving around that looks to me like we might be positioning to make it more kinetic than that. You guys would know more than I. I have a lot of family. I never served. I have a lot of family that I'm sure many of us have. And I work with people, quite a few that are veterans. There's one that I work with that is still a contractor. And you can imagine. I wish I could tell you, but that's in private. But you'd be surprised what we're doing to help other countries, I'm being careful, learn how to use the equipment we sell them. How's that? All over. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't want to get in trouble. You'd be surprised. I agree. It looks like there will be a kinetic response, but it may not be the first line of support we may provide. I totally agree. It's multi-pronged. It's just not going to be one thing. I think that would be a naive perspective if we think it's just going to be one-dimensional. Just my opinion. I agree with what you guys are saying in that chat right now. Believe me, I would tell you if I didn't. And I respect whether, agree or disagree. Jerry also says the same thing. I believe so too. So it seems that the consensus in chat agrees. So there's a general consensus of agreement on that point. And like I said, there's still, I wonder if the Russians and China are still bringing in assets to Tehran. Yeah, we heard about international flights, but that's not. What's this one? That's within the country. That's actually coming. I've seen a lot of traffic coming in from Baghdad. Oh my, and I can't pronounce that, but that also, there's been a lot of back and forth here. A lot. But there's still, and it's dark now. It's after 8 p.m. local time in Iran. But there's been a lot of back and forth. And again, just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there, because their transponders are off. So just because we don't see it doesn't mean they're not there. There was an emergency, because I got emergency alerts somewhere, but I didn't click on it to find out where. There was an emergency situation. But that's just civilian planes, like they have issues in flight. You know what? Let's check something. Not that this is going to give us much information, but it's surprising because Israel had a bunch. Oh, you could see where they're creating that there. There's actually a lot going on here. And this is right along the Iraqi-Iranian border. Just something curious. I'm just looking at it out of curiosity. But you made a great point, about the air traffic. There's still air traffic over eastern Iraq. And they're still coming in. If we started to see diversion here, they're being diverted or something, and that would be really interesting. So this, you may not think this shows much, but it does. It could be an indicator. I'm not saying, got to be careful. I agree with somebody saying about the time frame. I got to read it. It's still too early. Absolutely. Absolutely. Historic attacks have been done in early months to safeguard the planes that make the attack. The 12-day war was nearly all done. Yes, totally correct. Matter of fact, what time was it when we hit Venezuela? Like 2:30 a.m.? And you're right about the 12-day. But absolutely, it's too early. But still, you're looking for early indication for the civilian aspect of it. is then you might say, oh shit, it's about to go down. I'm just speculating, of course. I'm just saying. There are little things like I got the Israeli red alert thing going on my phone. I know it's active, just in case. Because what if later I take a break, which I will, because I've been streaming for a few hours already, and I'm not just going to go over the same thing over and over again. But what happens if this thing goes off? I'm going to be like, oh shit, something's going on in Israel. This thing. And I don't want to hear it, but if that would tell me, oh my God, Israel's sending out emergency alerts across the country, which would mean there's something incoming. Remember this? You guys know this. Remember that? Definitely a sound the people of Israel do not want to hear. But I got mine activated just in case. Just in case. Yeah, it's still early. Still way early. And I don't want to say this with any disrespect, but the night is young. Yeah, Angry Hada knows it well. It's an unfortunate sound. Nobody wants to hear that. But again, if Israel detects any incoming, they're going to obviously alert their people to go to the shelters immediately, take cover. So, like say I'm doing something in the house or I go out, because I do got to go out in an hour. If that goes off, because I do a lot of bike riding, when that whole thing was going on, because it was June, I was bike riding and I had that on. And I have music that goes to my pods. And that would come on. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm riding my bike. Something's going on. I would have to stop and, see what the heck is going on. So that's something just to keep in mind. It's called Red Alert. It's an app you can download. But like I said, there's not much coming out right now, and that's not a surprise. It's kind of really quiet. A lot of the people, like the politicians, are keeping quiet now. It's like, let's see if Netanyahu posted anything. Because he has been sending messages out supporting the people of Iran and hoping one day they can get their freedom and reestablish peace between the countries. Regardless of what people think. That's just what Netanyahu's saying. I'm just putting it out there. I'm not seeing anything coming from Netanyahu. I think he's just not saying anything for a reason. Don't. I want to see if Rubio's very controlled. Rubio's, I know, and again, whether you agree, dislike him, he has composure. In my opinion. Nothing. I'm going to the State Department now. Okay, so the State Department of State, that's what it's listed at State Department, says what I just read. The State Department will pause immigrant visa processing for 75 countries whose migrants take welfare from the American people at unacceptable rates. The freeze will remain active until the U.S. can ensure that new immigrants will not extract wealth from the American people. The pause impacts dozens of countries, including Somalia, Haiti, Iran, and Eritrea. I'm probably mispronouncing that. I don't even know what the hell that is. And I'm good with geography. I don't even, what is that? Whose immigrants often become public charges on the United States upon arrival. We are working to ensure the generosity of the American people will no longer be abused. The Trump administration will always put America first. Then the last post before that is about Greenland from the State Department. Okay, so this is what the president, this is from yesterday. We don't want to see what's happening in Iran happen. You know, if they want to have protests, that's one thing. When they start killing thousands of people, and now you're telling me about hanging? Remember I mentioned this earlier. How did he not know that? Well, we'll see how that works out for them. It's across from Yemen. Thank you, Angry Otter. I didn't even know. I didn't even know. So that's got to be somewhere in the Red Sea? Right? Like, is it below Yemen? Is it below? I think it's below Yemen. I'm not sure. Please, Angry Otter, fill me in. Because honestly, I don't know. Is it to the west of Yemen or south of Yemen? And thank you for telling me. Hey, learn something new every day. And I ain't afraid, and I'm not ashamed to say it. It's great. I'm actually trying to see if I see it on flight radar. I gotta go to the Red Sea. There's actually a plane, C-17, right at the mouth of the Red Sea right now. I see Mayan. What is this? Hanish Islands. I don't even know what the hell that is. Anyway, it's near Yemen. Straight across from Yemen to the west. Okay, I got a general idea where it is. I have 4 monitors, and this one's kind of far from me, so it's hard to see. But thank you for that information. What's up, Bean? I heard the U.S. movement last night was U.S. forces withdrawing from. Yes. They're withdrawing some personnel from bases. Yes, correct. That actually has been confirmed. Which makes sense. All right, let me just get myself off the screen. Again, this isn't going to show much. Oh, where did the tanker go? This is a C-17. No, that could be the Hercules. That's the Hercules, probably. Yep, that's the Hercules. Notice the tanker disappeared. The tanker disappeared. So don't know where that went. The UK tanker is here. It might be heading back to their base in Greece, right there. That's the RAF base. So I'm surprised the drone's not up. But it could be, and we just don't see it. What was I really surprised though was the lack of activity in Japan and stuff. That, I mean, I've never seen that. Like, nothing is coming up. This is usually lit up with activity, whether it's Japan or ours. It is completely quiet. And usually you see something. I see nothing. And I've never seen it like that. Like they shut everything down. I mean, that's a big area of nothing. I'm just saying. It's curious. It really is curious. What's this coming over? C-17. Elvis has left the building. Globe mast. C-17. This is smaller. Sam. Yeah, that's Gulfstream. Right? Elvis. I wonder who decides what these call letters are. That's probably another 17. Daddy, we saw that one before. Now that's small. All right, so what I'm going to do, because I'm not wasting no one's time, I'm going to take a break, keep an eye on things. Andy, are you still in chat? Bean. Oh my gosh. Yeah, it has been patrolling for days. Yes, definitely not just that. The MQ-4C Triton drone is definitely looking for that in the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz. Definitely. No doubt looking for the mines if they're mining or any activity of. Definitely. Totally agree. Especially here. Because that would be the choke point. The shortest point. That makes total sense. I gotta see who said that, because it's true. And let me see what everybody's saying. Not angry. Andy. I forgot the question I was just gonna ask you. Oh, is Tusi going live? I'm sure she's live already. Goldie's probably already live. She's always live. It's like she never sleeps. Is Tusi live, or is he planning a live? Do you think Russia and India are intentionally flying commercial flights through Iran? Yeah, they don't give a shit. But the question is, what are they flying that the transponders are off into Iran? Are they still landing in certain places of Iran and helping them that way logistically? That's the question. You know? That it's definitely going to be an interesting. I think it's going to. Goldie is live. Go figure. She's always live. She did do a heck of a job on Piers Morgan. It's nothing from Tusi. Tusi's going to be going live soon. I do watch them. Of course, I do. But Armin is funny at times. He just cracks me up. He cracks me up when he sometimes comes out with certain words, and he says he's translating with a straight face. Like the other night, and he kept saying one word, and I was like, "Oh my God!" And Goldie had stepped away, If Goldie would have, I was like, dude, and everybody's hysterical in chat. And I was cracking up too because I was like, oh my gosh, he always warns him about using language, and here he is spewing stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, Goldie would freak out. The vice president, allegedly, publicly, that has been said is he looks more for diplomacy, the root of diplomacy. But that was shut off because the president said there will be no conversation. There will be none right now. He turned that off. So yes, there was talk about it, that behind the scenes, J.D. Vance was telling him, maybe there's another route here. But then the president said, negotiations are done for now. Because he said if they continue to kill people until they stop, that kind of thing. Kelly, that's funny. But he's, he's also very passionate. I think both of them are in Canada. Am I correct on that? I know Tusi's in the UK. But I know that Goldie is. I think Armin is too in Canada. Oh, is anybody here in chat Persian? There's a reason I ask. Because I wrote that song. I wrote a song weeks ago before all these other songs started popping out. And I don't know if it came out right in Persian. Based on the interpretation, the translator that I used. Because I wrote my lyrics in English and then I translated them to Persian. But I don't know if it came out right. I don't know if it sounds right. I don't want to play it until I know somebody can confirm that the translation works. Don't worry about diplomatic noise. The U.S. president does not need congressional approval. Absolutely not. Did Obama need permission when he was doing the airstrikes? You know how many airstrikes he conducted? Neighbor's cat is Persian. Oh my gosh, Andy. Being is partial Persian for my family, if that counts. But I need somebody who knows the language. If someone does, say yes now. I know Deep Story just said yes, but I'll say it again because there's a delay. If someone understands Persian, tell me. Blame Tusi. He's been playing the same song over. It has a cool beat, though. And it kind of rocks a little bit, too. It does. I don't even remember the one I wrote, how it sounds. I played the English version a few days ago, but I don't know how the Persian one even sounds because I forgot. Okay, so Deep Story says yes. Please tell me, because I won't release it, because I was going to publish it. Because I have like 55 songs published. Because I write the lyrics. Yes, AI writes the music. I must listen because I don't remember it. Lower my mic and let's bring it up. I'll bring up the video. The video is important to you to read. Please, Deep Story, tell me. Bill, that's wrong. I'm not, no hurt feelings here. I'd rather somebody be honest. Because I'm not going to release it unless I'm sure. So I got a lot of trust in you right now, Deep Story. Okay, let's get the video up on the main screen. Another Telegram thing just came up. Let me check that before the video plays. Where's the video? It's over here. It doesn't have the lyrics because I couldn't translate it. All right, time out. Pause. And put the audio on this. Slide this over here. I'm not going to share the screen because it doesn't have the lyrics. But I do want to check Telegram first. Something just came in. Oh my God. This is something else. Former pro footballer Mortaba Tashiz and his wife were murdered by the Islamic regime for speaking out. They leave behind 2 young daughters now without parents because their mom and dad wanted freedom. That's horrific. All right, let me see. That's what I just got on Telegram. All right, I'm going to play it.
نبرد آغاز شده است سالها ظلم و تر یه پیام از پادشاه آیندمون پایان حکومت اسلامی نزدیک است برای آزادی خود بجنگید شجاعت شما پاداش خواهد گرفت قدرت مردم آزادی دوباره برقرار خواهد شد خود بازگردی تخت پادشاهی وارث واقعی ایران رضا پهلوی امید و آرامش می آورد آری از ترس و نامیدی سقوط انقلاب اسلامی پرچمان برداشته شده و پاره شده است برخاستن از خاکستر بازگشت شیر و خورشید ملت بزرگ ایران بازگشت به شکوه سابقان آزادی برای مردم ایران فصل جدیدی از داستان آنها تاریخ غنی سنت ادیان باستانی تنمور هنر فرهنگ و علم رفع محدودیت برای جامعه صلح در سراسر کشور گسترش می‌یابد همراه با همسایگانشان ثبات در منطقه با شجاعت و کارشان نبرد برای استقلال سقوط رژیم نزدیک است میلیون ها نفر جان خود را به خطر می‌اندازند همچنان که به سوی تهران را پیمایی می‌کنند مرگ بر دیکتاتور رژیم سقوط خواهد کرد اهتزاز پرچم شیر و خورشید صلح و آزادی برای همه پادشاه به زودی باز خواهد گشت ایران دوباره قیام خواهد کرد رضا پهلوی رهبر واقعی ماست آزادی در دوران حکومت او باز میگردد ملت بزرگ ایران بازگشت به شکوه سابقان آزادی برای مردم ایران فصل جدیدی از داستان آنها تاریخ غنی سنت ادیان باستانی تننور هنر فرهنگ و علم رفع محدودیت برای جامعه نبرد آغاز شده سالها ظلم و یه پیام از پادشاه آیندمون پایان حکومت اسلامی نزدیک است برای آزادی خود بجنگید شجاعت شما پاداش خواهد گرفت قدرت مردم آزادی دوباره برقرار خواهد شد به شکوه سابق خود بازگردید پادشاهی وارث واقعی ایران رضا پهلوی امید و آرامش می آورد آری از ترس و نامیدی سقوط انقلاب اسلامی پرچمان برداشته شده و پاره شده است برخاستن از خاکستر بازگشت شیر و شکوه سابقان آزادی برای مردم ایران فصل جدیدی از داستانانه ها تاریخ غنی سنت ادیان باستانی تننو هنر فرهنگ و علم رفع محدودیت برای جامعه صلح در سراسر کشور گسترش می‌یابد همراه با همسایگانشان ثبات در منطقه با شجاعت و کارشان نبرد برای استقلال سقوط روژیم نزدیک است میلیون ها نفر جان خود را به خطر می اندازند همچنان که به سوی تهران را پیمایی می کنند مرگ بر دیکتاتور رژیم سقوط خواهد کرد اهتزاز پرچم شیر و خورشید صلح آزادی برای همه
پادشاه به زودی باز خواهد گشت ایران دوباره قیام خواهد کرد رضا پهلوی رهبر واقعی ماست آزادی در دوران حکومت او باز می‌گردد ملت بزرگ ایران بازگشت به شکوه سابقان آزادی برای مردم ایران فصل جدیدی از داستان آنها تاریخ غنی سنت ادیان باستانی تننو هنر فرهنگ و علم رفع محدودیت برای جامعه
Okay. So I wrote that over a week ago. Now, I translated it from my English lyrics to Persian. Okay. It is, but let me be honest, it's so clear that... Yeah, but because the AI is not good in Persian language, but overall it's great. It's a bit different music and culture. I know I tried my best. I tried. Like I said, I tried. I get an A for effort and maybe a B- on how it all came out. I tried. Now, I'm going to actually play my English version. For those, and thank you for telling me that, Deep Story. Because that is meant for our Persian friends, the Iranian people. I wrote that for that reason. So let me ask you this question, Deep Story. Should I publish it or not? So that's the question. Honestly. Now I'm going to do the English version, and I'll wait for your response after. I'm going to share this one on the screen because this one does have the lyrics. And I'm going to be quiet. If it plays. Okay, here we go. This is English. Different music.
The battle has begun. Years of cruelty and fear. A message from our future king. The end of the Islamic regime is near. Fight for your freedom. Your courage will be rewarded. The power of the people. Freedom will be restored back to your former glory. The throne of the real heir of Iran, Reza Pahlavi, brings hope and peace, free of fear and despair. The fall of the Islamic revolution, its flag is removed and torn, rising from the ashes. The return of the lion and the sun. The great nation of across the country, together with their neighbors. Stability in the region with their courage and their work. Battle for independence, the fall of the regime is close. Millions risk their lives as they march towards Tehran. Death to the dictator, the regime will fall. Waving the flag of the lion and the sun. Peace and freedom for all, the king will soon return. Iran will rise again. Reza Pahlavi is our real leader. Freedom returns during his reign. The great nation of Iran, back to its former glory. Freedom for the Iranian people, a new chapter in their story. A rich history of tradition, ancient religions of diversity, art, culture, and science, removing restrictions for society.
So yeah, that's the English version that I wrote. So I got it. I got you, Deep Story. That's the bad thing about it, is like you said, the interpretation. I knew it. I knew it, but I had to try. But that's dedicated to the Iranian people from me, because I write all my lyrics. So peace, love, and prayers for the people of Iran. I should publish the English version, right? I will. All right, so I'm going to do that. I got to do that when I'm off, because it will be available on every platform, iTunes, Pandora, all that. Because all my music that I write is published. And I'm going to get on that. So that one I will publish. And I'm going to work on that offline. Oh my God, Deep Story. The Persian one is good too. Wait. Oh my God, I don't even know if I'm logged into it. Because I have a distributing company that I use. Upload music. I have different kinds of music, you know. That's an anthem. All right, you think I should publish that one? I'm going to publish it right now. I'm going to do both. Oh my gosh, there's a problem. Oh my God, there's a problem. I just realized it. Let me see. All right, I need your help one more time before I publish it, because you're going to see how I write all my lyrics. I write a lot of songs. All my lyrics, every word, no AI, they come from here. I have a ton of songs. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. Oh my gosh, where is the Persian translation? That's not it. Because when I publish it, I got to put the lyrics. Oh no. Because I need you to read the Persian translation. Why isn't it here? I can always copy it from the platform that I use. Oh my gosh, I didn't save it. Okay, timeout. I'm gonna have to copy and paste it. It's gotta be on I use Suno, by the way. No. Oh, I'm praying. Library. Because I need you to read the lyrics. I need you to do me that favor. Oh shit, it's here. Oh shit, I got it. Okay, I do have it. I found it. I need you to read this. This is what I translated, so I'm not sure. I'm going to have to use this when I translated it. These are, because I have to paste these lyrics when I upload the song, the Persian version. So this is what it translated it to. And you're right. The translation from English to Persian is not the best. But I have to use these because that's what I use for the song. I'll show you in a second. Send this to Goldie Armin. They are streaming constantly for Iran. I would love to do that, but I don't think they necessarily pay attention to what I send. I've been sending her a lot of stuff on DM on X, but I don't know if she's seeing it. I don't. She probably gets bombarded with messages. And they can use it. I own this. They have my full permission to own it. No monetization from my part. They can use it as much as they want, anywhere they want. Anyone can use it. I don't do that. If you guys want to use it, you have my permission. You have my permission. Just I don't play that game. All right, I'm going to use these because that's the title. I'm just going to do it right now. Let me just do this while I have it up. The release date is today. Okay, timeout. The release will be today. It'll be available on Pandora, Shazam, even Shazam. Yeah, everywhere. iTunes, Apple, YouTube Music, everywhere. You got to give it a little time, though, to appear. It takes time because I got to get it approved. But it will be available. Like on every platform. Amazon Music, everything. Hold on, let me just do this. Select the genre. I'm going to put world. The genre, it's not great. The options they give you. Song title. Here we go. Okay. Upload the file. I'm going to do the Persian one first. They have my full permission to use it. Because I do own the, obviously if I'm publishing, I own the rights. Okay, it's uploading. Explicit lyrics, no. Don't go to, don't pay for it. I'm actually telling you, don't pay for it. There's other ways you can get it, like on YouTube Music. You know what I'm saying? If anybody has direct ties to Goldie, shit, how am I gonna do this? Trying to think how I could send it out. All right, hold on. Let me just finish this. So at least we get this one published. I was messing around on the drums too when I was doing it. Just to see. I could probably play the drum part. I'm almost done. You got to go through so many steps. Okay, continue. Verifying. It's verifying my stuff. Cleared. Next step, lyrics. I'll show you on the screen where you can, if you, I don't know if you need Prime to get the music. Add your lyrics. Here we go. Oh boy. What is it? I'm gonna have to copy that one separate.
Yeah?
Mom, I'm very, very busy.
But I can't have one?
I have to make them. Please, not,
Oh,
you know, right now. Wait, please.
No, baby, it's okay. No.
Paste. All right, now I gotta copy that first line. Got it. All right. Save lyrics. Done. You're still missing lyrics for one song. I got it. It's up. That one's going to be published. I'll do the English version on my own time because I don't want to waste all of your time. What would be a good place to go for free? Yes, bless all the freedom seekers. Absolutely. I would love to send somebody the file to share. I can't put the file in here. What would be a good free source to download it off? Guys, help me. What platform can you access music on, like one of these major platforms, and download them for free? I need help because I don't want nobody to pay for it. I'm trying to think. Because I got all my shit on Amazon Music, but I think you have to have Prime for that, right? I need help. Because like I said, if I go to Amazon Music, it's not going to show up so fast. Impossible. See all songs. SoundCloud. I don't even have a SoundCloud account, Sound Beats Lyrics. But that might not be a bad idea. Maybe I do have SoundCloud. That might be a good one. That's true. I didn't think about SoundCloud. I don't know if I have an account. And then I could put the link in here. I'm in. I'm logged in. Upgrade. Library. Upload. Upload your audio files. Good one. Sound Beats. Excellent. No, good one. Add new artwork. But I really would like to get the American version published too. Genre. Whoop, I don't know what. I'm gonna put world. Tracks with descriptions lead to get more plays and engagements. I don't really care. Upload. Saving. Save to view track. All right, I need you guys to test this. Excellent. Great idea. See if that works. Then I'm going to work on uploading the English version so you guys could spread it. And again, anybody who uses it has absolute my permission. I don't, as you know, to use it. Let me upload the American version. English version. I need to know if that link works. Upload music. So we don't need to worry about Amazon. Excuse me. All right, let's upload the other one. That was a great idea. I need to know if the link works. I'll put it in Rumble too. This is the Persian version though. Oh man, I gotta copy everything. Oh no, this is the English version. Here we go. Here's the English version. Return of the King. Copy. I have to publish it on my other one first. Won't take long. That was actually quick. Someone confirm, please, on YouTube that that link works to that song, because then that's a copy link that could be sent to Goldie or whatever. 9:09 Tehran time. I hope I'm not getting sick again. Okay, I gotta put this audio in here. Because I don't want nobody to pay for it. This is not something to monetize on. I gotta go out in a few minutes. And then in a second, I'm going to do the English version, but I'm doing the distribution first. Looks good. Validation error. Please choose a date. I forgot to hit the date. Nobody's checking the link out to let me know it works. Add your lyrics. Okay, this one's done on that platform. Now I'm going to do it on SoundCloud. Upload. Return of the King. What link? You don't see a link in YouTube? For SoundCloud? Are you serious? You don't see a link in YouTube chat? You don't? What the hell's up with that? Oh, shit. What is YouTube doing? Maybe I have to get out of the pop-out chat and do it in... Hold on, give me a second. Let me just finish this. Upload. Send it to Teams, but how do I send that to anybody else? View track. That's some BS. Let me get rid of the pop out for this chat. Let's see if I do it another way. That's BS. Oh, wait a minute. I know why. I've got to log into my... I got to switch accounts and log into that one. I'm logged into the other YouTube. That's what it is. It should work now. Try now. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, God. You posted it? I'm going to try in a second. I'm going to do the English version first. But I posted the lyrics, so I'm not going to erase all the lyrics. I was logged into my other YouTube account, and it's, I don't know if it's, because I'm not a mod. I don't even understand it. I would have to mod myself, if that makes any sense. I did it again. What's wrong with me? Who's messaging me now? I see you, Andy. I'm gonna send it to you, because you could send it to 2C and Goldie too if they even. Just give me a second. I'm trying to scramble here, so I don't want to waste nobody's time. I just want to see if the link works, so you guys can spread it and play it and do whatever you want with it. Okay, let me recopy this link. All right, let's see if it works now. Does that one work? I don't use Discord. Did that one work? Then I gotta get the other song. I know what I did wrong. It works? Okay, so then this one should work too. For the Persian version. Awesome. I knew what I did wrong. I was on the wrong, because I'm streaming to two YouTube accounts. This should be the Persian. Check it, please, if anybody can. So that's the Persian version. The first one is the English version. The second one is the Persian version. Spread the love. And like I said, You have, and I'll say it clearly on YouTube so you can always go back to it. You have my full permission to use those songs. I own the rights to them. You have full permission to use those songs as you see fit for the purpose of peace, love, and freedom, not to be exploited for any other reasons. Because that happened to a song of mine. The Russians did something to one of my Ukrainian songs. It's crazy. It's actually true. I wrote a song for the Ukrainian people, and Russian propaganda took the music and changed it to their own lyrics. Is that fucking crazy? I was told by a Ukrainian soldier. I don't know if it was true or not, but that's what he told me. They will use it as propaganda. Of course, they both work, and you can download them, right? So, if you guys want, if anybody has any like direct connection, you can send it to Tusi or Goldie if they. And yes, they have full permission. And if they want to contact me, I can reach out and confirm. So both work. That's the main thing. Done. Thank gosh. All right, one more peek. What is this one? An F-15 keeps popping up in Qatar. I'm not seeing no U.S. activity anywhere in the region nearby. Not a one. That in itself could be telling, because they're not showing anything now. Gonna have to keep an eye. The Blaze has an article on Vice President does not oppose Trump taking potential kinetic action. Well, it's glad to see that they're on the same page. The president, again, they can, it's like anything else. They can all give their advice to the president. That's what you want, right? You want a room full of people. I want to hear all of your take on the options here with Iran. I want to hear everybody that's in my inner circle. Of course, the vice president's included in that. But it's up to him to make the ultimate decision as commander-in-chief. So everybody could voice their opinion, and he has to reach his own. That's the way democracy works, right? He is the commander-in-chief. He's the one that makes the final decision. It's how it's always worked. Add a comment stating free to use. Okay, I will do that. How would I say that? I am the, God, I don't want to say the creator. I am the artist who created songs. I'll put song and then an S, and you have my full permission to use for free. And I gotta put my account Night Sky on SoundCloud.com, because that's where they're gonna get it. I mean, anybody could type that though. I would have to message them privately. I have her DM. I could just message her. But you guys gotta let me know when you send her the song. Whoever's gonna do it. I could do it too, but I could try. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna do that right now on X to her. I don't know if I did Tusi. X. I'll try to DM her right now. I would have to publish it. Do I? Search. That's not true. Goldie. Okay, Goldie. Message. Hi, Goldie. She knows I've been bothering the hell out of her. I wrote an English and Persian song dedicated to people of Iran. You have my full permission to use it. I own the licensing. I spelled wrote wrong. Okay, time out. I got a copy now. We'll do the Persian one first. And I don't know how much I can send. Let me copy and paste the other one now. Oh man. I'm going to copy the link directly from YouTube. It's a lot easier. Oh my God, hell no. Oh my God, what a crazy link. Excuse me. Oh, I hope I'm not getting sick. Where the hell would I find my own stuff now? Tracks. Return of the King. Oh my God, copy link. Did it. I did it. Heads up. Oh, I'm catching up. The Blaze hasn't gone. Did not oppose you. Add a comment state I did that. All that kind of between. They're all gonna what? Mrs. Soriano? Fox? All that. They're all gonna say what they're told to say. The Blaze is independent. Alright, so I'm done. I sent it to Goldie, both versions. 2C would be a different story. But for now, let's see what Goldie done. You had both links, right, Andy? You are a member with 2C. You can post them. You can send it to 2C. If you can. Otherwise, I'll send it to him on Facebook. Is he planning to go live? Let me go to Facebook. Maybe I'll just do it now. Send him a private message. Is he planning to go? What's up, Marco? Is he planning to go live, Andy, anytime soon? 2C? Do you know? I'm going to send him the links now. I wrote a song dedicated to Iranian people. You have my full permission to use as you see fit. And now I gotta get the other link. Copy link. Persian, the other English. Blessings to you and family. Let me put Persian capitalized. Okay, I sent it to him. Private message on Facebook. To Tusi. I did PM her, Goldie, the song links. And they have my full permission. And I made it clear. I wrote it to them that way. So we'll see. They can use it, you know. I got everybody pretty much said consensus that they enjoyed the songs. And I published them. They're going to appear on every distribution platform. But the free version, for sure, is that SoundCloud. And that's what I want. I don't want people to pay for it. I want the free version available to download for people. So, yeah. Anyway, I got to go out. Love to all of you. Be well, be blessed, be safe. I'll keep an eye on this when I get back. I'll keep an eye. If anything, if I observe or hear any news, I will definitely come back when I get back home. Andy, I'm checking your message. What's going on? Oh my God. Did you make that or you found that somewhere? Super Tusi. Oh my gosh. That's actually, where'd you get that from? Did you make that or you got that from somewhere? Mr. Soriano loves both versions. He sends me a picture of this. Oh my gosh. You're too much, Andy. You're too much. Super Tusi. Oh, that's too funny. Dude, that's funny. I'll tell you, Andy, you never stop. You found them? Anyway, I needed a laugh. Oh my gosh, I wonder what Tusi would think of that meme. I mean, that's just too funny. Anyway, love to everybody, Mr. Soriano, Marco, or Andy, anybody that's still watching and tuning in. And prayers for those. I forgot to light my candle. I gotta light the candle. For the people of Iran, keep an eye. And Andy, if you hear anything, message me on Teams. You know how to reach me. I gotta go. I got things to do with Mom, and I should be. If I come back, I'm only gonna come back if I see something like really significant. Otherwise, I won't. Take care, Astro, and send my love to Fringe. Unless you're Fringe, send my love to Astro. Stay safe, everyone. And again, pray for the people of Iran. They can use that positive prayer.